Hello everyone, my name is Amanda and welcome back to another video of the Planting Mandy. So I think about it for a long time before I decide that, okay, let's do this Hoya carnosa video because it seems to be a very narrow topic because it's just one species, Hoya carnosa, right? But this is actually not true, and I decided to do this video anyway for multiple reasons. So number one, I do really like Hoya carnosa. It's one of my favorite Hoya species other than the Hoya polyneura. If you don't already know, I love Hoya polyneura, but Hoya carnosa, it's definitely one of my favorites. And second, it's very easy to grow. Like they are generally low maintenance, like they are really adaptable to different environments. So it's great for both beginner and advanced plant parents, Hoya parents, because there are some harder to cultivate Hoya carnosa cultivar, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And also, more importantly, I feel like there's a lot of misunderstanding of the Hoya species, Hoya carnosa itself. A lot of time when we talk about Hoya carnosa, people will be like, oh, it's just a carnosa. I think in their head, they are just thinking about this, like, green, just plain green old Hoya carnosa, which is nothing wrong anyway. Like a plain green carnosa, it's literally my favorite thing. But I feel like a lot of time people don't have enough insights or understanding of Hoya carnosa or how expensive it is, the species actually is. So I think this will be a good opportunity for us to like expand our vision and insights of this really wonderful species. And last but not least, right, this is the fourth reason I think. And last but not least is like even if it's just a common like Hoya carnosa cultivar or Hoya carnosa itself, I will teach you a way to make it fun and make it just stunning, even though, according to most people, it's just a carnosa. So let's get started. So Hoya carnosa have been Hoya carnosa is the longest cultivated Hoya species in the genus of Hoya. And it's mean that, because again of its adaptability, and also, low maintenance, easiness to grow, like, or how fast it's actually grow. A lot of the cultivator actually would take Hoya carnosa as one of the parents of many of the, really beautiful Hoya carnosa cultivar that we see in the market today. There is a saying that the Hoya carnosa that we see nowadays in nursery or whatnot, like the green leaves one, is actually not the real carnosa. And the reason people say that is because it has been cultivated for so long that, the DNA or the genetic, it's really mixed up and blurry. So people say that it's actually not the real carnosa. The real carnosa is actually the Hoya motoski. I don't have one, but I'll try to find a picture and show you. It's like, it's really similar to Hoya carnosa that you see in the nursery, which is this one. So this is, I got this from San Francisco Botanical Garden like a few years ago when we were still allowed to like go to stuff. so this is labeled as a Hoya carnosa. So you can see it's basically the one that you will see in the nursery. Really probably pretty easy to find and accessible. And this one happened to have some splash on it. And you can see that these are the oldest leaf, which is a little bit lighter green. And this is my newer leaf, which is like really dark inky green, which is, really appeal to me because I just like dark green, like dark inky green, like Hoyas. And you can see like it's actually quite different, like the older leaves, the newest leaves right here, and the older leaves up here. And the reason being is I'm giving this guy a lot of light, like high volume of light, which means that, you know, it's literally just sit next to my grow light. So yeah, I just want to show you as this as a baseline. It's like, this is what normally people think of Hoya carnosa. Even though there's a saying that, again, you know, Hoya motoski is actually the true Hoya carnosa, but you know, we'll just leave it like that. So yeah, so this is our baseline Hoya carnosa. Baseline Hoya carnosa. Yep, there we go. Okay, so next I'm gonna show you guys some more like common, you know, Hoya cultivar. So okay, when I do like common or like rare or uncommon, it just means that this kind of terms are very subjective, because like to me, a particular Hoya carnosa cultivar can be really easy to find, but you know, for someone else who live in a different area, maybe it's hard. So you know, it just depends, right? So that's why I use quote unquote. So anyway, I think this one most of you guys would have seen, or you know, would have grown as one of the Hoya carnosa cultivar. This is the Hoya carnosa Crimson Princess. So I mentioned many times in my other video, like, I don't know why, but Hoya carnosa Crimson Princess is the one that I can grow really easily. Like, it's grow really fast for me, and I don't even really do anything for it to, you know, in particular. But the Hoya carnosa Crimson Queen, which is the one with the white variegation outside, that one I kill like 5 times. I don't know why. So if you have tips, put in the comment below. But anyway, this is a Hoya carnosa Crimson Princess. It's actually really, really beautiful Hoya, in my opinion, Hoya carnosa cultivar, because, or especially because the leaves would come out like in this side. New leaves would come out, oops, okay, stop spinning. The new leaves will come out in this like pink color. And as you can see, when the leaf mature, it will turn into this like, you know, yellow or light green or cream variegation. So I just really like it, and it's grow really well. Like I said, it doesn't require much maintenance or special care or special humidity and stuff like that. So yeah, so this is you know, one of the more easily accessible one that I would say as a carnosa cultivar. So this is the Hoya carnosa Crimson Princess, the one that I can grow. Another really more like easily accessible Hoya carnosa cultivar is this guy. Okay, the first time I see this guy, I was like, oh my god, I don't know plants can grow like that. But this is, ta-da, the Hoya carnosa compactor. So yeah, so this is also a Hoya carnosa cultivar. And the first time I see it, like I said, it's like, oh my god, like what's going on with the leaves? Like, is the plant thirsty or something? And I feel like it look almost like intestine, like, to be honest, even though, you know, if you feel it's gross, but it does look like intestine to me. And so yeah, so I have this guy for a while now, and this guy, it's, some people say it's very slow growing. So in my experience, it's kind of true, because when I first got it, yes, it was very slow growing. Like, it's literally haven't done anything for 6 months. But once it starts to grow, it grows. So you see all this stuff, like this thing, like all this like new growth sticking out from the past, you know, few months. So once it's take off, it just take off. So I would say it may take a little bit longer, you know, for this to like, you know, take off. But you know, once it's take off, it takes off. So yeah, Hoya carnosa compactor, and obviously there's different cultivar of this cultivar. So there is like the Hoya carnosa compactor variegata, which is like, you know, it's variegated. Like there's like the yellow and the green. I forgot which one is which one, but I think like there is a Mona Loa, you know, and also there is another one. So the difference is just like the Crimson Queen and the Crimson Princess. It's like one of them is like outside variegated, and the other one is like inside variegated. I'll try to, you know, find some pictures so you guys can see it. But yeah, but there's also this like basically impossible to find Hoya carnosa compactor cultivar, which is the Hoya carnosa compactor like Jody Silver. So it's basically a silvery version of Hoya compactor. And that guy, if you think this is slow growing, like the Hoya, like the Jody Silver, it's 100 times slower. I don't have one. Like I'm not interested in it. Let's just put it that way. And also, you know, it's just very important. Like it's very hard to find, and it's very, 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 very pricey. So yeah, but you know, I like this guy. Yay. Okay, so next I'm gonna show you another, like, you know, I would say like it's also common. And this is the Hoya carnosa crinkle 8. So it's cute, right? Crinkle 8. So the reason it's called crinkle 8 is because it have 8 dimples. So if you count it, it's supposed to be 8 dimples, you know. So yeah, so this is a Hoya carnosa crinkle 8, and I got this from a trade. I was like shocked when like she sent me like a whole plant. So yeah, so I really like it. And this guy is also a great grower, just like, you know, because of its carnosa genes, obviously. And you see the upper leaf, just like the first carnosa I show you, it's like darker and with splash on it. You know, which I'll show you, which I'll explain to you later how to do that, right? So yeah, so it's also really cute. It's different, right? So you see, like, so far, even though those are the common one, they all looks different, right? They all looks really, really, you know, beautiful and unique it in their own way. And that's one of the reasons I love Hoya carnosa, is because those are all from carnosa, but then they look so different. So see, you know, and we haven't even go into the more special one. All right, so next we're gonna go into like a little bit more, I wouldn't say they're rare, but they are probably like not as often seen in the market as a Hoya carnosa cultivar. And some of you guys may not even know they are actually coming from carnosa, because, you know, most of the time we don't really, you know, spend the time to look into the parents, right? So this one I also really like, because I like elongated shaped leaves, which is dark green. And this is, ta-da, this is the Hoya carnosa mini bell. That's the cutest name, right? So Hoya carnosa mini bell, it's actually a cross between Hoya carnosa and Hoya shepherdii. So remember shepherdii, it's also known as the string beans Hoya. So like it's like, you know, longer, like really long leaf shape. And this guy is just kind of a mix in between. So it's like, you know, it's not so, you know, long, and it's dark green. Yeah, so this is the Hoya mini bell. So it's actually a Hoya carnosa cultivar. So it's really, really, really cute in my opinion. Yee. So next one, you guys must have heard it before. It was really popular. It was really hard to find. But if you have been like plant hunting in the Hoya market for a while, know that, you know, when a plant first came out or like first get really popular on Instagram, it's always really hard to find. It's always really expensive. But then eventually when people realize how easy it is to grow this, like how easy to propagate and multiply the plants, and they flush the market, then it's become cheaper and easier to access. And this is one of them. And this is my Hoya mateo. So Hoya mateo is just so cute. Like you can see like the tiny, let me take this off really quick. You can see like the tiny leaves. And this one, I actually was able to create a lot of splash on it. So yeah, Hoya mateo is and some of them is like less splashy. So Hoya mateo is a cross between Hoya's carnosa and Hoya's serpents. And you know, it's off topic, but serpents is like the cute tiny fussy leaves one, which is very high demand right now. But yeah, but this is the Hoya mateo. To be honest, I mean, I love the mateo so much more than the serpents because of how easy it is to grow. So this guy has been like climbing up all the way, and you can see all these new leaves on here, and it's still growing. And yeah, just give it a lot of bright light, and this guy will reward you with tons of new growth. And I think that's why it's slowly getting a little bit cheaper and easily accessible because of how easy it is to propagate, right? So the easier you can multiply your plants, like the higher the supply in the market, and obviously the price is going to go down. Economics. Okay, cool. All right, so next I have a special guest. The special guest is because I don't know what exactly of the species of Hoya carnosa, or like the cultivar of Hoya carnosa this one is. But this is literally, I know I say it all the time, but this is literally my one of my favorite, one of my special little Hoyas. And you've probably seen it in my other video. So this is the Hoya, this is a Hoya carnosa parenthesis, like lateral leaves. So this is exactly how I get it as Hoya carnosa lateral leaves. And I got this from ta-da, Gardino Nursery. So yeah, it's in comparison here. In comparison to the first carnosa, you can see yes, the leaf are definitely more lateral, right? Lateraler. I don't know, lateral or more lateral, but one of those. And it is very splashy. Like, and again, as I give it more light, it's become splashier and splashier. Yeah, so you can see like the top leaves. And one thing about this particular specimen is, or this particular plant is like the splash. I noticed is actually turned pink or purple with a lot of bright light, which I'm providing it. So yeah, so that would be you know, just a full spectrum, you know, grow light. But yeah, so you can see. So now, look at, yeah, this one is pretty silver. So now I know that on the market, there's this thing called, there's like tons of splashy or silvery Hoyas, carnosa cultivar. So for example, there's Hoya carnosa Wilburgrave. There's Hoya carnosa Grey Ghost, obviously just all silver. And there's Hoya carnosa Stardust, right? So, you know, basically those are just different you know, Hoya carnosa that carry different amounts of splash, right? Or Hoya carnosa Lover Gold, you know. So yeah, so this one, I would say if I have to pick like a cultivar name, it's probably closer to like Stardust because of its like, you know, like speckles, right? But, you know, even within the Hoya carnosa Stardust or Hoya carnosa Wilburgrave species itself, there's different level of specialists too. That's why I feel like it is, yes, you know, it is what it is, right? You got it as a Stardust, you got it as a Lover Ghost, you got it as a Grey Ghost, you got it as a whatever, you know. Yeah, of course, you know, there is, you know, different, like this particular species, but I feel like it's also highly dependent on the environments you give it, and also, you know, just basically the DNA of the plant itself. So yeah, so I try not to get too hung up on like, oh, do you have a Grey Ghost, or do you have a Lover Ghost, or do you have a Wilburgrave, right? I just, you know, this is a splashy Hoya's carnosa, and I like it. I don't know if it is like a Stardust or whatever, but I like it. So that's basically my attitude towards, you know, my little Hoya carnosa. All right, speaking of Hoya carnosa cultivar, we cannot not talk about one person, and that person is Susan Schwarzfeger. So if you don't know already, Susan Schwarzfeger is actually the legendary Hoya cultivar cultivator who runs Coco Ranch Hoyas. And yeah, so she have a lot of her own cultivar that and a lot of them come from Hoya carnosa. So I got a few. I don't have all. I wish I have all, but I have a few of them, and I really like them. They do generally live up to their standard, or like the characters of like the adaptability and the easy to grow like characters of Hoya carnosa. So this one, So first one I want to show you, and this is the Hoya seaweed crystal. So Hoya seaweed crystal, again, it's a carnosa cultivar, and I think crystal is actually the name of Susan's daughter. So if I'm wrong, like correct me, but at least this is what I look up, you know, online. But yeah, so this is Hoya carnosa seaweed crystal, or Hoya seaweed crystal, and then you can see, you know, there's, you know, sprinkles, speckles, yeah, the splash on it. It's really cute looking. It's really cool. So you can see the older leaves are lighter green, just like the first carnosa I show you, and the more mature leaf, it's or the newer leaves are darker in green and more splashy. And again, it's because I'm providing it a different growing environment. I'm providing it like a lot of close grow lights, and that's why. And this guy has been growing well, and you can see the new growth it's coming out even, you know, throughout winter. So yeah, I really like this guy, Hoya seaweed crystal. So another Susan's Waxfeger Hoya carnosa cultivar I want to show you. I actually got it as unwooded cutting, and I have to say, this guy is one of the fastest and easiest and most adapted Hoya carnosa cultivar I have ever grown. I know, it's like so hype up. And this is the Hoya Lennon Joseph. So I don't know who Lennon Joseph is, but this is just Hoya. It's the name of the species, Hoya Lennon Joseph. So as you can see, it's green. It's a lighter green color is what I meant. And the reason I say this is one of the fastest, easiest growing Hoya carnosa cultivar ever is because, like I said, I got it as an unwooded cutting. And then I cut it up, and then I root 2 different sections because that's faster or easier. And this guy root up literally within a week. So within a week, like white chubby roots already coming out, and within 2 weeks, it's done. Like it's well rooted, I would say, consider well rooted. And that is not the most amazing thing. The most amazing thing is like after it's well rooted, it's almost immediately start producing new growth. So I want to see, like, I want to show you the new growth point right here, like the red here. And then also, let me see if I flip it. Yeah, so I can, yeah, so there's also the other one right here. So there's 1 and there's 2. So this is very important information because of course, you know, it's nice that a plant is root up quickly. But when it's produced new growth in such a short period of time, it shows me that, or at least I interpret that as how adaptable this plant is, like how easily it is to acclimate, because the plants will not put out new growth. The Hoya will not put out new growth, like unless it's like acclimate to your environment. So like I would say like this guy within like a few weeks or less than a month, it's rooted up and it's, you know, become well rooted, and then it start producing new growth. So I am extremely impressed with Hoya Lennon Joseph. And by the way, okay, so I think I'm gonna go over my plant pet peeve right now because of a comment that I got from this plant. So someone told me that, oh, what is that? I'm like, oh, it's a Hoya Lennon Joseph. Oh, like, what is that? I'm like, oh, it's a carnosa cultivar from Susan's Waxfeger. And the person was like, oh, but it's just green. Like, it's like a green carnosa. Like, what's so special about it? And I was like, okay, this is my trigger word. When people tell me or told me that, oh, it is just a something, like insert plant name, like, or any common plant name. And that's actually make me feel somewhat uncomfortable because you can enjoy anything that you enjoy, right? I can enjoy anything that I enjoy. Like I said many times in my previous video, I love, you know, the greenness in plant. I love a good green succulent plant. That's just what I enjoy. So I enjoy this Hoya Lennon Joseph, okay? It doesn't matter if it's a common plant or if it's just green. Like, I like it. I enjoyed it. Like, I also enjoy a lot of the common houseplants, like my big Hoya I mean not Hoya, my big Monstera deliciosa, just the green one, right? Like, but I grow it from a 2 feet plant to a 5 feet plant. I love that plant, right? And also I have some more common Hoyas, like Hoya multiflora. Like it's easy to find, but I love that plant. It's constantly bloom for me. I like it, right? So I enjoy it. It doesn't matter how common someone else think it is. But on the other hand, I also enjoy some of the more like rare, Hoya, such as like I really like my Hoya Ganongating because it just produce really beautiful wingy grow. I also really like my Hoya clemensiorum because it's just really Jurassic period looking, like large leaf, even though it's grow very slow. So people, you can enjoy what you enjoy. Like the plants of the Hoya doesn't have to be rare for you to enjoy. If you love your Crimson Princess, love your Crimson Princess. Be proud of your Crimson Princess. Like just post it on your Instagram, and just don't listen to people who tell you, oh, it's just a Hoya carnosa Crimson Princess. So this is, I'm sorry, but this is just my little pet peeve, just so you know. Last but not least, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, you can have fun with Hoya carnosa by switching up its growing environment to create different appearance of the plants, largely due to, again, its adaptability of the species itself. So I have done many experiments with grow lights and growing conditions, to just mess with, my Hoya carnosa. So I think you guys already kind of see it earlier. Like I said, I noticed that the more light you give it, like for me in my environment, I have to use grow light just because I don't have a lot of light, and that's how you can see the mess in the back, like all this grow light. So I use a lot of grow light. And then I noticed that the more light you give it, like of course it's a volume, right? Like how strong your light is and also how long you leave your light on. So the more light volume you give it, the darker the foliage will turn. And also in some of the species, it's gonna get very splashy as well. And the splash may turn pink, right? So I think, for example, like I show you the very beginning of the Hoya carnosa, like how the old growth are lighter green, but as I give it more and more light, it's become a lot darker. Like you can see the comparison on the same vine. Like the older one is like a lot lighter than the newer one, and also the newer one start to produce some splash on it. So I think it's really cute, even though the old growth have no splash at all. So you can totally do that, like just by playing with like grow lights and stuff like that. So another one too is like the mateo as well. Like it has been getting darker. You can see like some of the older grow is like lighter green, but like you see a lot of this grow, it's getting like darker and a lot more splashy. I didn't get this as a mateo splash. I get it as a mateo, like it's just a regular mateo. So this is another example to tell you how you can, just basically play around with lightings, right? So even the compactor that I show you, I was surprised because you see, okay, so this is, let me see if I can find it. Okay, so you see like the top grow have like, it's just green, like lighter green. But as I'm giving it more light, you can see how like, okay, let me try to focus this really quick so you can see it. So there you go. So you can see how like the new grow, it's a lot darker. And it's even developed splash on it. Even though the when I first got it, it's just like a green compactor. So so this is like the amazing thing about Hoya carnosa cultivars. Like you can literally like just play around with the lights, and then you can make it look different. And as you can, as I showed you earlier too, it's like this one I really like just because not only that it's developed splash, but the splash is turning pink. Not all of them do that, so that's why I say it really depends on the particular Hoya itself. So so you can see the splash is pink on this one. Yep. And as I was watering my plants yesterday, I also noticed that my crinkle eggs has been developing a lot of splash, and because I'm giving it more light, like the leaves are also getting a lot bigger, and because this guy is sitting right, so you can see like the splash, yeah, right here. Yeah, this guy is sitting right next to the grow lights. I didn't expect. Okay, so this is okay. I will show you. This is the older leaves, right? That's just the dust. Sorry. So this is the older leaf, right? There's like no splash whatsoever, but like you can literally just use lights to like, you know, create a different look of your plants. You can see how different it's look. All this new growth on top because the grow light is from the top, and like all the older growths at the bottom. Ta-da! Yep. And ta-da! So yeah, so this is what I meant by like, you know, oh, it's just a Hoya carnosa. It's not, you know, it's not the right thing to say, right? You can, you know, first of all, there's so many different cultivars of Hoya carnosa. They're all easy to grow, all adaptable. And number two, like just literally by adding more light, you can create a different look of your Hoya carnosa. And I will not listen to anyone who will tell me that because it's just a Hoya carnosa crinkle eggs, this is not beautiful. Like I was in awe yesterday. I was like, oh, when I was, you know, when I took it out from, because it's up high, so I cannot see all this. But when I took it down to water it, I was like, oh my God, look at my crinkle egg. It's like getting so much darker and so much like splashier. I'm proud of my Hoya carnosa crinkle egg. And I tell them all the time. I tell them that I'm proud of you to give out our little leaves. So, yay. So that's all I have got for you today. Sorry I can only share so many because my sister was looking at my channel yesterday and she was like, your video are too long. I'm trying to like, and I agree, you know, we are all busy and you know, we don't want to sit here and spend like an hour to watch a video. Sometimes I do longer video, but I try my best to like, you know, try my best to shorten it. So bear with me, be patient with me, because I just have so much fun like talking to you guys about plants and stuff like that. And yeah, so let me know what you think about this Hoya carnosa video because I'm tempted to do some other ones of a particular species as well. And yeah, and if you like this video, make sure to click like. If you want more future video, make sure to click subscribe. And again, you know I share a little bit of my plants pet peeves with you guys, so I hope it's okay. I'll see you next time. Bye.